Hello there, my fellow Blink boys, or Blink girls, or really any kind of Blink person you want to be. If you're like me, then you love Blink, and if you don't, then I don't know what you're doing here, but hi, how are you doing? Anyways, Blink is an amazing tool, and I think it's highly underrated, but even so, nobody is perfect, and I want to address some common mistakes many Blink users make. Hopefully, by recognizing these mistakes in your own play, you can start to make them less and improve overall. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, tell me if this sounds like a familiar situation to you. You see a guy in front of you, so you pull out your shotgun or SMG or whatever else you're using for close range, and blink towards him at Mach speed. You manage to take him out, but 2 seconds later, 3 of his teammates come around the corner and shoot enough holes in you to make you look like a chain link fence. Well, then it's probably time to slow down a bit. This is probably the mistake that I'm most guilty of myself. Blink gives you this feeling of going fast and really wanting to get into fights. Now, there's nothing wrong with an aggressive playstyle, but over-aggression is the issue here. We often over-aggress and don't analyze the fight before we blink in, which leads to our deaths. My personal playstyle with Blink is very shotgun-centric, and I can say that there is a balance you can strike between smart aggression and over-aggression, and once you learn it, you will become something to fear. Now, this next mistake is a big one of new Blink players especially. Once you use Blink long enough, you're going to learn to analyze fights faster and know when you can aggress. But, as stated in the first mistake, we all still over-aggress sometimes. The mistakes here come from thinking that Blink is a get-out-of-jail-free card, that no matter what trouble you get in, you can just blink right back out. While sometimes this will be the case and you will be able to blink out to safety, many times you will not. In my Blink tip video, link in description, I talked about how your hitbox will never disappear when you blink, and that fact is what a lot of this mistake hinges on. Even when we know that knowledge, the way Blink goes off can still trick our brains into monkey mode, and we think, well, I'll just blink out in front of all 6 of these enemies. No, you will not. 80% of the time, you're going to die and act like the game screwed you over, but as soon as you can admit that you never had a chance to escape from that precarious position, then you can start to get better. And at the end of the day, I think that's what we all want. Alright, this is going to be an obvious one to most, but just in case you're new, I'd like for it to be stated. Use Astrocyte first. Now, I've gone on and on about this exotic in other videos, but I never plan on stopping. With Astrocyte, you can blink further and more often, which is very much needed if you want to make Blink viable. On top of that, it's going to allow you to keep your radar up through Blink, which is huge for tracking the enemies and keeping yourself aware as you come out of your blink. It's so easy to come out of a blink and completely lose where you are in relation to your enemy. But with Astrocyte, at least you can keep your radar and keep an eye on them much easier. Oh, and last but not least, it looks cool as hell. I mean, come on, look at this thing. Alright, this is a big part of learning Blink, and I've discussed it before, but you have to get your angles down. We've all aimed a little too high on a blink and fallen directly onto an enemy's head, but before we get there, they see us coming and shoot us out of the sky. Now, this is probably why most people think Blink is bad, because when they think of Blink, they think of a schmuck getting slapped out of midair. But a good Blink player won't be caught in this position often. It always sucks when we are in this position, but we have counterplay, which with most things is just play better. Again, the point of this is that we all make these mistakes, no matter how long you've played. The other point is that it's okay to make the mistakes. As long as we are learning from them, then we will all always be improving. The same concept applies to blinking up on a ledge and smacking your head into the wall instead of getting up. Sometimes we just don't aim right and end up too high or low. It's going to happen, but that's fine. Just gotta keep your head in it and make sure that next blink is the best thing your enemies have ever seen. Now, this last mistake is something that saddens me. Blink is easy to use and hard to master, but as with many other things, people will give up after a few matches of getting killed over and over instead of sticking with it until things start to click. Don't be deterred and don't give up. So much of Blink comes from muscle memory. You have to use it over and over until you start to subconsciously know how to use Blink like an expert. On top of that, there are so many different playstyles you can implement with Blink. I prefer an aggressive shotgun style, fast and loose, but I've had people comment and say they enjoy fusion rifles with their blink. You could even use snipers and use your blink less aggressively before its amazing repositioning capabilities. However you may decide to use it, blink has a playstyle for everyone. Just stick with it until it clicks for you, and I promise you won't regret it. Well, hello there. Did you see any mistakes that you make? If so, let me know in the comments, and if you can think of any common mistakes I missed, then let me know and maybe I'll include them in a part 2. If there's one message I wanted to get across with this video, it's that blink can be difficult to use, especially when you start out. But if you stick to it and put in the time, then it will be very rewarding. I think the uniqueness of blink is what attracts me to it. It strikes the perfect balance between fun and skillful that makes my brain happy and keeps me coming back. If you watched this far, then thank you, and I'll wrap this up so I don't take up too much of your time. If you enjoyed, then feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload in the future. That's it for me now though. Have a great day, Guardians.